Next is, why do you do what you do?
Man, I do what I do just simply because in 2018 we had a pretty unfortunate situation happen, and it was one of those things where if I didn't step out of my comfort zone and really act on what I believe to be true, there was literally people's lives at stake. And I thought about that in retrospect, right? They say hindsight is 2020. I believe that happens to a lot of people in some form or fashion. And so my story is really kind of everybody's story with a couple of little different variances. And if they would just simply act on what they know that they need to do, what they're going to find out is that whatever it is that they're afraid of is on the other side of that decision that they're afraid to make. Whether it's start a new business, whether it's reach out to a friend, call a family member, forgive somebody for something that they felt that they did, they've been done wrong, whatever that might be. Once you start to really kind of look at keeping the main thing, you really find out that you're not living up to your full potential. And so it's my goal to be able to help all the people that I come in contact with to be able to reach that next level of whatever that is for them, mentally, spiritually, physically, in their finances, in their family, in their personal life, in their career life, in their community, whatever that looks like. And as long as you understand and know, I like to gamify everything. And if you've ever played a video game, you know that to get to the next level, you're going to have to master a few things. You're going to have to overcome a few obstacles. You're going to have to, get past the old version of yourself because what got you here won't necessarily get you there. You're going to have to, I like to use the Super Mario's because that's kind of my age group, right? But you had to get the star, you had to get the mushroom, you had to get bigger, you had to get the immunity, you had to learn where the traps are, you had to learn where the dips were. If not, you fall off into the abyss. And luckily at the game you get to start over. In life, if you
You
make a
don't.
bad mistake, you got to be careful with that. And so that's where we're able to use that and help people to kind of like Toastmasters, we're able to help them to develop their speaking skills in a safe, controlled environment, positive environment, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. And in coaching, we do the same thing for them there. It's a lot of times it's done via Zoom, coaching one-on-one. If you're in the area that I can coach at, we'll do it in person. But right now, we've got coaching clients literally all over the world. We've talked to people in Europe, South Africa, um, all over the country, Canada. We've got some
Yep.
people in Canada. So there's a lot of things that can be done because of this technology. And it's just a matter of you opening up yourself and be willing to invest in yourself to get to whatever that next level for every individual is. And so I'm excited about this podcast because you're starting out, you're growing, you're developing, and before you know it, man, there's no telling who you're going to be able to invite. I just recently invited a person to my podcast that I've been trying to get on.
Really?
Yeah, and he's a national. He's got that Calvert Roberts deal. He's honorary Toastmaster. I mean, his name is Jim Cathcart,
Whoa.
and he's got his own speaking institute. And
Oh,
instead of actually calling him up and telling him, "Hey, I want you to come on my podcast," I went to an interview that he did with somebody else on their podcast on a Zoom meeting training, and then at the end they open it up for questions, Q&A. And I said, well, I don't necessarily have a question, more so than a statement. I led into my statement. I led into my indirect selling. I indirectly told them of our podcast that we have for Christian entrepreneurs and kind of gave them my mission statement. And without asking him to be a guest on my podcast, he stepped up and said, Johnny, I would love to come and be a guest on your podcast.